Hello. Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. I've already got a guest backstage. How cool is that? I just wanted to point out Doug and Carolyn at Appalachian American Homestead, their son Daniel had surgery. I only say it because I saw that you posted it on Instagram. Otherwise, I wouldn't do that because that's your business. But I'm really glad that he's home. I'm glad he's resting. I'm sorry he's hurting, but hoping that he feels better and heals really quickly. So sending you guys prayers for that. I just want to go to the chat, say hey to everybody. I know Colleen Farku Harson is here. Hello, Colleen. Hope you're doing well. Dark Lord Minette is here. Welcome in. And I just want to go down. I know Jake at Nunya, Texas is here. Hello, Jake. Craig Tim is here. Hello, Craig. I'm glad you're working on the coop tomorrow. That'll be awesome. I just saw my comment of winter is coming. Eek, it's coming. Ooh. Let's see here. Just want to go through real quick. And I only have one, well, I technically have one rooster, Jake. So I won't send him to freezer camp. He behaves himself. But we did hatch out some chickens, and of course we've got some crowing out there, so they'll probably go down in the meat pen. Hey, Gwen at Broke Cowgirl Homestead, hope you're doing well. And again, sending prayers to Daniel and Doug and Carolyn for Daniel's quick recovery at Appalachian American Homestead. I had the same surgery that he did when I was 20. It was the best thing I ever did. Rebecca Touched by Yarn. Hello, hello. Hi, Berkshire Farm. I hope you guys are doing well, Jackie and Frank. Hello, Vineyard Chicks. How are you girls doing? Hi, Leanne. Mennonite Farmhouse. I'm laughing because she is back behind. Yep, he had gallbladder surgery. Hey, Tina Ladybug. Hey, Lazy Days Ahead with Jesse and Lisa. Hello, hello, hello. Fall is coming first for you, Gwen. It's coming here. It's just that it'll quickly devolve. So they say this winter is going to be a winner, I hear. Oh, I got another guest backstage already. So let me just finish saying hey to everybody in the chat and we'll get started. I put a thing on Instagram the other day that said everybody across the country is all excited for fall. Fall's coming. I said people in South Dakota are going, eek, winter's coming. I hope I didn't miss anybody. I just want to give a quick. Sorry you have an aching back, Gwen. Hey, Crubby the Beagle, welcome in. Good, not hood. Gwen's in the hood. Hey, Anita at Nordic Drip Coaching. Hope you're doing well. Welcome in, welcome in. I miss you too. It has been crazy. Rebecca, it's kind of small. I'll have to go back and look later. Your avatar, I see it's green. I just can't see it. Did you make a logo? Yeah, I'll keep winter up here. Thanks, Jake. I just want to get to the bottom. I know I have guests backstage. Give me 2 seconds. Just want to make sure I'm getting to the end. Anita's happy that winter is coming. I'm okay with it. Don't get me wrong. It's just there's a lot to do to get ready for it. And that's what we were doing today. So that's awesome, Rebecca. I'm glad somebody helped you and you have a banner now. Awesome. That's cool. All right. So guests backstage, you guys ready to come on up? Okay. We got a thumbs up. So here is Leanne at the Mennonite Farmhouse. Hey, Lisa Colovi. Hi, Leanne.
Hi.
There we go. And I'm going to bring up Monica. from Bland's Promised Land Ranch.
Hello.
I gotta work on my lighting since I couldn't see myself down below in the green room.
Gwyneth Broke Cowgirl says if she types hood, she means good. Geez. So one thing that I did want to say is just because some people have, I haven't really made a lot of it public. And one thing I do want to mention is that we did lose another piglet last Saturday. And I wanted to bring it up because some people were asking me, and when I posted Fiona with her piglets, they didn't see my reel on Instagram. So they were kind of like, where's the rest of them? So, hey, Grace and Fire. So we ended up losing the swallow belly boar from Fiona's litter, which was the ginger, all ginger. We took him and the black and white little boy to the vet Saturday to be castrated because we had that complication and lost the other little guy out of Eleanor's litter. And I begged a vet to help us. And, there's no pig vets here. So it went south for him like it did for us. So I will say this, it's sad, but I think it's also the vet was really incredible because he showed us an easier way to do castration that I was telling Monica about, because Monica is who I was watching her video over and over again to do it. And I was sharing with her that he did one incision. You always see them where they're doing two incisions like Monica does because she's the queen of it. And you are.
I'm not the queen. I'm just handy with some razor blades. If you would have seen me trying it this last time with a scalpel, you would have seen the fear that I had, because I haven't been that afraid since I did it the first time, because this last time I tried something different because of recommendations from others. And I was literally shaking. I was crying. And finally, Eric's like, do what you feel is comfortable, what you know to do. Just do what you do. And I had to go back to what was normal. But I'm interested to try I really am interested to look up the one cut thing, because I think it makes sense to do it like that.
Well, I mean, you think about it, you only have one wound to heal.
Mm-hmm.
And then so essentially, just for all the homesteaders out there, I'm not going to go into detail. High Cottonwood Ranch, Hay Carbs Homestead. So normally you see folks do pigs where they're either very old enough where they're sitting on them and they have their back end here and they're holding legs back, or they're little like Monica's had them. And again, I was holding back legs up and Ryan was in front of me cutting like Monica does. Yeah. The way the vet had us do it, and he used to be like 30 years ago in the sow industry in Iowa. He had us hold them by the back legs upside down.
Mm-hmm.
And that sounds cruel, but I'm going to tell you something. They were quiet.
Yeah.
Like they squealed at first and then they were quiet, and it makes it so that everything falls down, I guess. And then you do the single incision and you reach in and you're able to remove both. So it's only one incision that has to heal, which is what I thought was amazing.
Yeah.
But it takes some work and you're not used to it. Like you said, it makes you nervous. So, but I don't know that we'll do it, but we're going to give it a try because it's just, But the little guy that we lost also had a scrotal hernia. So I was talking to Monica about it. I've been talking to my breeders. I've been talking to my mentor. I've been talking to a lot of people about it. And we don't think it's genetic. We think it may be environmental. So we're going to look at our pens and see stuff like that. So I just wanted to let you guys know, because a lot of people were just asking, like, where are they? So, but we're keeping one. We're keeping Fiona's little boy. He will be a meat pig. We were going to keep the swallow belly boar as well, but unfortunately we lost him. But we're going to keep him, but he's already named, but I'm not going to tell you his name just yet. But just think about it. We've got a pattern going here.
I bet it's Ulysses.
No, good one. Good one, but no. A little more normal, actually. So, But yeah, it's pretty funny. I'm just going to go to the chat real quick and make sure that I didn't miss anybody. I know I saw Krubby. I saw Lisa Kolovi. Tiny Tim Posey. Hello.
Then there's Jackson.
What's that?
Jackson.
See, wait, so you have Sherman and then you have Grant.
Right.
See, I'm just thinking Peabody and Sherman because I think of cartoons and stuff now. So I'm not thinking. So I'm going to have to go with actually be educated here and start thinking now.
They're going after Civil War generals.
Yeah. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to use my educated mind.
So there's
okay,
Samuel
so
Jackson.
just think generals.
Just generals instead.
Yeah. Because you know the rule, right? Ryan likes to name them, and I told him I'll just keep getting them, and he can name them. But he really wanted to keep Fiona's little girl. I wanted to keep one of the brown and whites from Eleanor's litter, but Maple is one of their names, is what the new owners told me she will be.
Love that.
I do too. I'm waiting for the other one, so I've been calling her Maple, and they're so cute.
Maple bacon.
Krubby, the other host, the one next to me is Leanne at the Mennonite Farmhouse up top. And then below me is Monica at Bland's Promised Land Ranch.
Yeah, I'm thinking Patton too. Grace and Fire, Bro Cowgirl. That's what I'm thinking. Patton. That might be a good one.
No, that's a good one.
That'll be the next one.
Yeah, that'll be the next one. Patton's a good one. In fact, I have...
It's going to be simple. We're going to go with Lou.
I have a friend who's about, thank you, Colleen. I have a friend who is about 90 minutes from here, and his boar is Patton.
That's cool.
Hey, Ariella, Viking Venture and Victuals. Thanks for being here. I just want to make sure I didn't lose anybody. But yes, thank you. I appreciate it. But just wanted to let you guys know, because like I said, a lot of people had been asking. But tonight, why are we here? And no, it won't be Custer, because Custer is my...
That was my next guess.
We already have a Custer.
I know, but I was like, well, that's obvious.
Yeah, they're just... I love it. Thank you, Anita. I appreciate you. So some people have said this to me, and for me, and I know it's different for Monica because she's in the South. And so she has a longer grow zone than Leanne and I. And then Leanne even has a better grow zone than I am, is the best way to say it. Hey, Drops Family Garden, where to begin? Welcome in. So there's all these varieties out there, right? If you look at the Baker Creek seeds, right? Like Monica just had a video, and you look at all of those catalogs. I mean, there is some cool stuff in there and some cool varieties. And I don't know about you guys, but me and other people have reached out to me, have said, like, how do you sort through all that? Because it's too overwhelming. Anita at Nordic Drip said, Leanne has such a cute cat back there.
And then she leaves.
Hey, Matt and Sarah, welcome in. So, that's one thing that I thought about is there's a lot of new gardeners or new people to grow in food, and they're getting overwhelmed by all these varieties. And that's why I wanted to do like a back to basics, because for me, I can't get anything really exotic. And I say exotic, but for the rest of you, it's not exotic. I have early girl. Yeah, I have early girl tomatoes, and yellow tomatoes. I have to pick early varieties that they sell around here, right? Mm-hmm. Or we also have, what's the other one?
Would work for you.
Cherokee Purple would work, absolutely. I had those in North Carolina. They were fabulous. Hey, Wicked Awesome Gardening. Hope you're feeling better and kill it and grill it. Hello.
Prudence Purple.
Prudence Purple?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that what you said instead of Cherokee?
Yeah, we got those at Monticello. They're an earlier variety. I can send you some.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Thank you. And so
they get like this. They're like the biggest I've gone is like 2.3 pounds.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. See, and that's the issue, right? Because if I have They say an early variety, right? I'm getting early girls in August.
Mm-hmm.
When would you get early girls?
July.
Right, a month earlier usually. So that's the problem. So I worry about getting some of those, but I'd love to try it. But, again, it just goes back to, growing the basics, and my biggest thing is trying to get away from getting lost in the varieties. If you're new to stuff, does that make sense? And just going to the basics. And I know, Leanne, you're like basics and staples of what you put in your garden. So you want to talk a little bit about what you grow and why?
Sure. We just put what you would find in your pantry. Like what I keep in my refrigerator at all times. I always keep, well, this year we didn't grow celery, but the carrots, the onions, the potatoes, those are all staples. And corn, that's staples. And tomatoes, and peppers. That's basically all we grow, except for like lettuce. You can't keep lettuce in the refrigerator to save your life.
Yeah.
But those are the types of vegetables that everybody should be able to grow, or at least in my standpoint. Those are the basics.
And tell everybody why you consider them to be the basics for you.
Because they're in almost everything I cook from scratch. If you go find a recipe, lots of French cooking, we'll do we'll do onions, celery, and carrots for soups and casseroles. Like they're in a lot of recipes, and when I talk to my church sisters, they're like, "Huh?" I'm like, they're clueless, and I'm like, "How do they cook?" Because I think like chicken stock. Like what's in chicken stock? Carrots, celery, and onions.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In fact, I just saw, and that's what I save my beet greens for, even though my beets probably won't be doing that well. The beet greens, Annette at the Cow Emporium had posted on Instagram, she'll put the carrot tops and the beet greens in her broth. And it's a really good flavor because I too do, onion, celery, and all that. But I ended up taking the beet greens that I had for my last harvest. The carrots I gave to the chickens, but I will take the rest of them. But what I did with the beet greens that I had was I rinsed them off, dried them really good, and then just put them in a bag for the freezer and see how it goes. Is that a bad idea?
I like that idea.
Okay. I figured I'd try it. It was just a few leaves, because it doesn't have to look pretty. Yeah.
I mean, it can't hurt to try. I think that's part of it, is always trying something new. And if it doesn't work, what was your loss? You tried something new, and if it works, great. And if it doesn't, then you didn't get a chance to feed them to your pigs if you normally do, or your chickens or ducks. I mean, they missed out on some greens that they could have gotten. It's minor compared to what you gain from the attempt, and if it's successful.
Right. I agree. Hey, Chris and Larry Homestead, Life with Linda and Chuck. I agree. It's worth it. So I'm going to start doing that because I wasn't ready to do broth, but by the time I pick the other ones, it'll be time for me to do more broth. And hello, Pike Creek Farm.
I want to shout out a video that I watched today. Well, actually, I didn't watch it. I listened to it while I was driving down I-70. Monica knows where I-70 is. But anyway.
Yep.
Where to Begin Homestead. Their video today made me want to cry. They were basically talking about how they started with no money, and now they got $16 worth of food stamps or something, and they bought seeds with it. I don't want to give the whole video away, but they're basically saying that they learned how to grow their own vegetables, then growing their own meat, and now they're maybe spending $16 at the grocery store a month. That video moved me. And I almost shared it out, but in fact, I was driving. I can't share it out. So people need to go watch it. Go check that video out. It is worthwhile.
Yeah, there you go. Jesse just posted the link. That's awesome.
Thank you so much. That's awesome. So, Monica, what are the things that you grow in your garden?
So we kind of do things similar to Leanne, but I think for us, it's mainly what will we eat, and we always grow what we eat. I agree. Now, I've never successfully grown carrots yet. I've only been able to successfully grow onions 1.5 years. I'm going to say a half year because my first year was like success, but it was like 8 onions, and I was like, huzzah, 8 onions, and that was better than before. So I count it as a half success. So I've only done onions like once, really successfully. But we grow the peppers and the tomatoes. We love cucumbers, and we can preserve them. You can can them up. We love having cucumbers so we can eat pickles, all year. But we also, some of the staples for us, because we eat them and we can freeze them, is broccoli and cauliflower. We grow the lettuces. Obviously, you can only keep them so long in your yard or whatever. But we like the squash, and then we do green beans too. I mean, obviously, we do green beans because I don't really like to eat green beans, but my kids do, and Eric does. And I was just talking about that last night, on our live, that we do green beans every other year, give or take. We try to do it every other year or every third year. And we grow several rows. We'll grow enough to put up, anywhere between 80 to 100 quarts. And then that'll last us a few years with our family size. I mean, we usually do 2 quarts at a time, but we don't eat green beans every week. We eat cauliflower, we eat broccoli, we eat that more often than green beans. So it's one of those things where the more you can put up that way. And so those are some of the things that I do. And we don't do anything extravagant. I get basics. And for us, basic means I go to the local feed store and I ask them information, what's native or what's the best thing to grow in this area. Because there's big box stores. You're going to go to the Home Depot and they're going to just have every variety out there. It doesn't mean it necessarily is good for your area. So you have to pay attention to that. But when I go to the local feed stores, or the local nurseries, they're going to have what's better for my area and what's going to last and what's going to flourish in my area. And it just so happens that the local feed store where a couple of my boys work, there's a master gardener actually she works at the feed store. So she has a wealth of information. And I always go to her and say, hey there, what are you putting in the ground this week? And then she'll tell me. And it's awesome because I know that if she's got it getting ready to go into her ground, then I know I can get it started in mine. But, Gwen's right. You grow what's in your pantry, grow what's in your refrigerator. Like Leanne said, we grow what our kids, what my husband, what everybody around here is going to eat. I'm trying new things here and there, but the staples are really what we're going to actually put in our bodies. Because I mean, look, I used to coupon all the time. Back in Maryland, I would coupon and I was like, yeah, I just got, 18 50-cent jars of, whatever it was. I just went and got ketchup, the ketchup that I would never normally buy because it was high fructose corn syrup. But I just got like 10 of them for $1 a piece. And I was all excited. And then I'm like, why am I spending money on this that we don't normally eat this stuff? Because why? It was on sale. Why? It was a coupon. Why? It was something. I just wasted money. And so I realized that I need to pay attention to that too. Buying all these great seeds that look cool or somebody else is growing, that's super. But if you can't grow it or you don't enjoy eating it, then what's the point? It's just an empty pack of seeds in your pantry for never, because you'll never use them. Or they may not grow, or you may not eat them. So you can grow them and go, yay, I grew something. And if that's what you want to do, totally do you. Go for it. If you just want to grow Swiss chard just to say you grew Swiss chard, rock on. But I mean, I'm like looking at Swiss chard going, what the heck am I going to do with this? I mean, I'm excited. I'm going to try it and I'm going to make my people try it. And if they don't like it, I'm sending the rest of the seeds to you, Lisa, because I ain't going to use them.
I'm glad she said you, not me.
I'm sending them to you, Leanne.
You could send them to me. I just ended up, I sauteed them in a pan with balsamic vinegar.
Yeah, well, I'm going to try it, but it's one of those things that I wouldn't normally be like, I'm thinking of trying Swiss chard this year. No, I'm not. I'm going with what works. I'm like, give me some broccoli, give me some cauliflower, give me some green beans. I'm going to try sweet peas because I like peas. I like sugar snap peas. I'm going to try what I want to put in my mouth. Honestly,
I agree. And
I'm not.
Well,
like
I have to say,
I just like food.
I have to say, the Swiss chard, I never had it before, till last year, and I really liked it. Yeah. Would I go out of my way and waste real estate in my garden to do it? No, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
But if I have room in the greenhouse and it's getting cold, sure, because
Yeah.
it'll grow. But
Yeah.
hey Jamie at Mad Acre Farms, I have what do you call it? Some seeds came up from last year in the greenhouse along with the tomatoes that are Swiss chard.
Mhm.
So I've let them grow. I've tried to grow broccoli. We've had broccoli doing really well in the front bed when we covered it. We didn't cover it this year, and we got, what do they call them? Flea something or other. I don't know. We dusted them off and they were fine. But we get really small heads of broccoli, nothing big, because there's not enough sun in that back garden.
Kelzyme.
But
here it works.
yeah, I know. Well, you know what? Trust me, I thought of that, but I'm holding on to my Kelzyme like you wouldn't believe. I'm trying to talk Ryan into getting a super sack of it so we can spread it on the pastures out back.
Me too for Eric. I was like, hey, Eric,
Yeah.
we should buy a super sack of Kelzyme. He's like, what are you talking about? He just heard super sack and he was like, super sack? What are you talking about? I'm like, okay, I gotta tone it down for a second, dude. It's weird. Stop getting excited
It's
about
1 ton of Kelzyme.
I know.
So, but yeah, well, you know what I did yesterday? Somebody gave me a box of bananas and they were overripe, but I'm telling you, I could have eaten them. They were not that bad at all.
Banana bread.
I didn't make banana bread. I'll tell you why, because the person gave it to me and I was like, she gave it to me for my animals. I said, I'm going to give it to the animals. Well, I go out there and the reason I'm telling you this is I peel all these bananas, slice them all up. Everybody got bananas and they were thrilled. Well, it was really funny because I took all the peels and I put them in a bucket with water. So I'm going to see what that does for the broccoli first, because I'm like, I'm not wasting the peels. I'm going to soak them.
Linda's saying you should have freeze-dried those bananas.
Yeah, I know. I could have. I did think about it. I will tell you that. Ryan overheard me and he just texted me. He's like, good move. He didn't want banana bread. He likes zucchini bread.
My kids only eat banana bread if I have chocolate chips in it. That's only the way they eat zucchini bread too. They're like, what is that? I'm like, it's zucchini bread. They're like, you made vegetable bread. You better have chocolate in that somewhere, Mom. And I'm like, yeah, don't worry. I got you.
Zucchini bread is good.
Yeah.
Especially peanut
Yeah,
colada
I used to have
bread.
So I'm laughing because Chris from Chris and Larry Homestead said, save the bananas for Yo Nana. I just got rid of my Yo Nana machine. I'm just like, we gotta tamper this down a bit. Hey, little Frenchie in Big Texas. Hope you're doing well, Ann. Lazy Days Ahead is going to plant whatever Slava tells him to plant.
Yeah, I just saw that. That's so funny.
I would love to plant whatever. I'd like Slava to come plant my garden for me.
Wouldn't that be great if we could just be like, hi, come visit us. I'll feed you something and you can help me plant my garden. She could just touch it, like put her hand over it.
I try to get Danny to do that.
Yes, that would be a good idea.
Lisa Colovi said zucchini does not belong in bread.
We agree to a certain point, only when it's mixed in with the chocolate. My kids are fine with it as long as it's chocolate.
Yeah, Lisa needs to try my recipe for pina colada bread.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Does. Actually. My sister-in-law makes eggnog bread.
Ooh.
Oh my word. So good. So good. Well, I made a bunch of zucchini bread and because I had a big old zucchini that was hiding from us, and I made a whole bunch of it because Ryan loves it, and I dropped them off some at work, and then I said, how much you want out? The rest is going in the freezer so you can pull it out whenever you want it. So
there you go.
Have a good night, Doug, Appalachian American Homestead. Give Daniel a hug for us.
Oh, look. Danny said she's ready whenever you're ready, Leanne. Just say the word.
I'm sure.
Leanne, pina colada bread sounds yummy.
Yeah.
That does sound yummy.
It does.
I should thaw some out.
So why do you call your onions only half success? Because you grew them. That's success.
Yeah, I think I called it a half success because it was not to my expectations. You know, I expected more from what I put into it time wise. So I count it as a half success. I think that in order for me to be able to push harder for the following season, I counted it in my mind as a half success. You know, I was excited with what I did. I wasn't upset about it. But for me to say it was like full successful year, I didn't count it as that. I said, you know what? You did good, Monica, but you know what? You can do better. And now that you can see that you grew a little, let's grow more. And so this year, I feel it was a full success, or at least it was successful for me, because where I planted the rows, I was able to harvest onions. And they weren't onions like you see in a lot of these amazing other channels. No, I did not fertilize them mid-season. I'm still so new at onions that I was just happy they were growing. Okay. I did top them off, and then I took the onion tops, because I'd seen that in the videos too. I was like, oh, I can top them off. Well, I took the onion tops and then I actually dehydrated them and made them into like, and then I crumbled them and made them to like little onion things, and I used them in stuff. Perfect. Super good. I love that part of it. I was excited, but I didn't fertilize them like I guess I should have maybe. But they weren't as big as I had hoped, but they were bigger than what I was expecting, and they were bigger than the year before. So I was happy with that. And I planted like 6 rows of onions. I was like so excited. And my chickens came in after they were in the ground for maybe a week, and they dug them all up and shushed them around and threw them all over the place. They were just kicking them around like they were soccer balls. I was so mad. And so I had to go back in there and try to recreate what I had come up with. And so out of the 6 rows that I planted, I was able to get like 3.5 rows. And these were Texas onions. I don't know. I don't remember the Texas Star or White Star. These were ones that were specific to Texas, that I had heard from a friend that said that there are some that are right here that you get from Texas, and they actually really grow well here. So I was really excited about that. So Bunky says onions love nitrogen like peanut butter loves jelly. Okay, I'm gonna have to try some of that. So this year I'm excited to try it again, but I only counted as half success the first time because I didn't get what I really wanted out of it. And I knew that if I said, wow, you did a good job, that's successful, I wouldn't try as hard the second year. I've got to talk myself into it. And Drops, I appreciate you. The whole NPK level 10, 20, 10, super good, informative for a lot of people that get that mess. But me, I'm like, no, you got to tell me what I don't understand all that.
It's NPK.
You're a farmer's wife and you don't know what that means.
Nope. Actually, I am a co-farmer on this ranch. He's not a full farmer. He's a part-time farmer, because that man goes to work full-time every single day, and he farms at night. So he's a part-time farmer and a full-time chief engineer at a building. And so I'm a co-farmer, and we don't get all the whole NPK. I don't get it. Just tell me what to put in the ground. I'll put it on the ground.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you this. I have tried to grow onions for years. I have fertilized them. I have watered them. They're heavy feeders, heavy drinkers, all that stuff. Hey, Charlie at Fallen Arkansas Veterans. I said I would never grow them again, which, you never can say never anyway.
Never.
And I will say this. We did that soil test and everything. And then I did put them in the garden bed, and it was one of those things. I was at, it's like a Tractor Supply. It's called Baumgars. And I was like, let's just get like 8 of them or so. Let's just throw them in the bed, see if there's room. Well, I put the bunching onions in there. That is the first time they have grown. And I freeze dried those. I cut all my onion tops off and freeze dried those. And we have onions growing. And no, they're not like the ones you see on these YouTuber videos where they're like softballs. I've got these little onions, and I'm probably going to pull them out this weekend because the season's winding down. But we actually got onions. So yay. I may order from Dixondale. I'm going to see if I can. Does Dixondale sell garlic too? Because I'm going to see. I want to try and plant garlic too.
That's one thing I haven't done ever either, is garlic. I've tried, and it's never grown for me. And I've only tried like once or twice, and I'm like, forget it, I'm done. And everybody's like, garlic's so easy. It's so easy. Just throw it in the ground. Forget that it's there. See, look, Leanne's shaking her head. Yeah, forget it. Literally, that's what people were saying to me about onions here too. They were like, oh my gosh, onions are so easy. Just put it in the ground and forget about them. They're super easy. And I'm like, y'all are joking me, because that's not even true. That's not true. Not for me.
I had to keep hearing that onions are heavy drinkers, heavy feeders, right? I was outside of Asheville. The 2 years that I tried to grow them, we had record-breaking rainfall.
Mm-hmm.
My onions were swimming, even though it was draining. I had to keep. It was horrible. They just wouldn't drain, and I finally just threw them out in the backyard. Oh,
So
hey, Nancy, our treasured home.
Dixondale does not grow or does not have garlic for sale.
Okay, thank you.
I was
Thank
Jesse
you.
for a moment.
Okay, thank
That was a
you,
good
Jesse. Somebody
So-
said I suck at growing garlic. Where to begin, Homestead? And hey,
Yeah.
downriver mining.
So I've learned that you need well-drained soil for garlic.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm taking notes.
And
Tell me more.
I grew purple hardnecks this year, and they were a little bit smaller, but my mother-in-law, all she grows is music. They're really big. They're like elephant. There's elephant garlic. Those are like the size of 3 or 4 cloves of garlic from the store.
That's huge.
Yeah, they're big. So you want music or elephant garlic, and there's 2 types of garlic. You got your soft necks, like onions, how they just taper over, and the hard necks have the hard stems.
What do you do with those garlic stems? With the hard, can you do the same thing with both of them? Like the hard neck stems, can you do stuff with them? Can you cook them? Can you?
The
Garlic
they're like-
scapes.
They garlic scapes. But
What is that?
when you
say garlic scapes like I'm some smart person and know that. Garlic scapes.
it's the flower of the garlic.
So what do you do with it?
People saute it in oil and stuff. They eat it.
Eat it. But what do you do? Can you do anything with the stalk of it?
Well, with the hard stalks, it's like hard like a corn stalk.
Oh, okay.
It's really, very
Got it.
fibrous and like wood.
So can you do something with the soft neck one? Like is the music one a soft neck?
I don't know. My mother-in-law will agree that.
Got it.
Bunky
Yeah,
was saying you can grow store garlic, and that was what I was going to do, is try and grow store garlic, because I bought it at the farmer's market, and I was just going to take some of that and put it in the ground.
Yeah, don't do what I did. I bought 6 bulbs from Royer. It's like they're local to me. They're a seed company for $30. 6 bulbs for $30.
Okay.
Yeah, not doing that.
I don't know what I
That's too
was thinking.
expensive for an experiment.
Yeah. But I have garlic, and I'm going to save some. And we're going to plant that in 2 or 3 weeks. Or not 2 or 3 weeks. But for us, you want to plant it 8 weeks before, or right before frost or something. But I don't know what to tell you, Monica, because you don't experience frost.
We do.
I better get mine in the ground.
We do. We get freezes. I mean, look, last year we got a lot of frozen stuff. But I mean, that's what I'm trying. I mean, people they do garlic here. I think that what Carmen over at Jesus Loving Homesteader did was the walking garlic. They do garlic, the walking garlic. Where you live, you should go soft neck. Hard neck is bad. So she did the walking garlic, and she did like a video of it. And I was like, ooh, that's kind of neat. So maybe I'll try that, knowing that she's local. She's super local. She's literally 20 minutes over my house. So if she can grow that, then at least I know it's something I can't like. And that's a soft neck, like the way you described it. That's a soft neck one because it goes over. I mean, it'd have to. It's like a walking garlic, so it goes bloop bloop bloop. Okay, so yeah, okay, that makes sense. That's what it says when it walks. You didn't know that because you're not here. Bloop bloop bloop.
Grayson Fire said try elephant garlic.
So somebody else said, the tinkerer's wife, I think, said that elephant garlic's not a true garlic. It's more like a leek. Did you see that in the comments?
Leeks.
It's possible.
I don't know what leeks taste like.
And Jamie says her elephant garlic didn't turn out.
Good night, Anita. Nordic Drip, thanks for being here.
I'm excited to try
Leeks
garlic.
are good. You never had potato leek soup?
Nope.
And you never did either, Leanne?
What?
It's something my mom never prepared.
Me neither. Mine never did either.
Do you go out much?
I don't.
We're farmers.
Well, I know Leanne doesn't.
It's expensive to go out with my people.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
really.
true. You got to bring a tribe.
Although
You need a
Eric and I
credit
go
card.
out a lot of places now without the kids. So, but I don't know
That's
that I
good.
want to spend time and money going, let me have some leek soup. No, I'm going to go out. I'm going to get something I know is good.
Yeah. Grayson Fire said, say what? Are you saying that about the potato leek soup?
I don't know. I don't know if it's any good. Okay.
Anyway, I'll get
Yeah.
stuck on that, but I
Carla
really don't
said,
want to talk about potatoes right now.
Carla said plant it, soft net garlic, plant it mid-October to end of November here. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Good call. Thank you, Carla.
Leanne, when do you plant your garlic?
It'll be probably a few weeks before frost. So, wait, our frost dates. We planted it like November last year, and I'm like, wait, our frost date is October 15th. So I'll have to talk to my husband. I just know he was gonna move where we were planning it.
And Monica was saying that she's never been able to grow carrots, and it's ironic because we grew killer carrots the first year. Terrible. Carrots the second year, best harvest we ever had. I fermented them all and they were moldy. Lost them all.
Yeah, I remember you did that.
Yeah, and Daz taught me a very valuable lesson. He was like, don't take all your harvest and put it in one thing. So
Yeah.
this year,
maybe you're on an every
crazy.
other year carrot harvest. Maybe it's an every other year thing for you. 2023 is going to be a carrot year.
This was our third year growing carrots, and this was like the first year. I think the weeds got them, and they all croaked. Not gonna lie about that. Then last year it was all right. I planted 3 different varieties and just one row. This year we planted 2 different varieties and 1 row of each. Somehow, I think it was from all the rain we got. We just had this huge harvest, and I was like, we're never going to grow this many carrots again ever. He's like, nope.
Well, and see, that's the thing though. Like when we do our green beans, we grow a lot so that we can can a bunch, preserve as much as we can, can get it anyway, but we put up as much as we can possibly put on our pantry shelves, but then we don't have to worry about the following year or even the next if we have enough. And so that's one of the best things about having a bumper crop. There you go.
Sorry, a little delayed.
Yeah, but that was good about having a bumper crop like that. I mean, that's something we haven't had lately. Tomatoes have been awful this year for us. I'm finally getting green again and little flowers. I'm seeing little blooms out there. But with this heat and lack of rain, even though I watered every single day, deep watering, like I really paid attention to making sure that we watered at the base, all the things you could possibly do. Our carrots have just, not carrots, our tomatoes have just burned up. So, even when you grow the basics, sometimes the basics don't work for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Charlie was asking how people get really big carrots. I don't know. We got some tiny ones.
Yeah.
But then Danny said the board trick really helps germination. Digging a foot down in a trench before planting will help you grow long, straight carrots. What's the board trick?
Yeah. What do you do? So, there's your carrots.
Agway. I have not seen Agway in years.
well, I've heard they're going out of, or they might be going bankrupt. But anyway, this is the variety I tried this year, and look how big these things are. What are they called?
Denver's?
Danvers 126.
Danvers 126.
See, I think that's the interesting part too. I mean, you've got all these different names and all these different varieties. And once you find a variety that works, that's awesome. But just because, I could be excited about that and I'm going to try that. I'm actually going to go look for that. But I'm probably going to find out real quick that that's a variety that may not work for us. So I think people should keep that in mind too. Just because someone tried something and it worked really well for them, if they're not in the same zone, even as much as you want it to work, it may not. So, because I'm going to have to go look for that.
Daz just showed up.
Yeah, Daz said hey, and I was just typing in the chat to him. Hey, Daz, and Drop said Parisian carrots. I planted a bunch of Parisian carrots this year in pots that were big enough to accommodate them as well as in the ground. Nothing. I'm going to try them, though, because they're little round carrots versus long ones.
Oh.
So I would definitely try them. I'll
Okay.
try them again. It just hasn't worked for us.
Okay, so I have a question about celery. So, Leanne, you grow celery. Do you? I had seen a couple of videos because I've only done celery once. Well, I've planted celery twice. Last year was on a whim. It was actually late last year. Was like completely not anything that I would ever expect to grow, and it grew amazingly. I was like, "What? It actually worked!" And then I tried it again in the spring, and it was just too late, and it didn't work great. So I had this really fun harvest. It was a surprise harvest. It was in fall of last year. Perfect. This past spring, it was just too late in the spring and it just burned up and they all wilted and gross. When you do your celery, do you bunch it together? Like I've seen some people kind of wrap it and bunch it. See, Lisa shaking her head. Yeah.
You're supposed to, and you're supposed to either wrap it in newspaper or like PC pipe, just to make it not so bitter tasting. But I've never done it, and it tastes fine because it's so much stronger flavor for me since I'm going to dehydrate it.
Yep.
So it's more intense that way for me.
Yeah, see, I dehydrated mine too.
So if you want that grocery store taste of celery, you need to cover it up so it's not as strong. So the flavor is not as strong.
Do you get like good thick celery stalks? Because I feel like mine were like all skinny.
Mine were like this size.
Okay, yeah, mine were like the size of my pinky too. And the kids are like, "Mom, how are we supposed to put peanut butter on this?" And I'm like, "You're not. Okay, you're just supposed to enjoy a bite. Take a bite." And then I cut the rest of it up and dehydrated them because they weren't. I mean, they like ate a little chunk and that was it.
That's what I do with mine. Daz had said like he uses either toilet paper rolls or not toilet paper rolls, paper towel holders. And you put it on the plant as it's growing and stuff. And I know Sandy at Suburban Homestead, Wyoming, Arizona uses like PVC pipes. When I grew them in the hydroponics, I took string and wrapped it around it.
Okay.
That was one of the things I did, but I don't think the string serves the same purpose as the PVC or the tube because the tube helps with the flavor, like Leanne was saying. I just did the string because I didn't know what I was doing.
And we learned 2 years ago, if you cut near the root when you harvest it and not pull it out of the ground, because I did that, just yanked them out. But if you cut them, they actually will regrow and go to seed the next year.
Oh, okay. See, I knew that, but I didn't do that because I was trying to make room for other stuff. But what I did was I brought them in. I had pulled them out of the ground, brought them in, and I cut them, and I was cutting them up. And then I had the little chunk with all the roots. And I asked the kids, I was like, "Hey guys, you want to do an experiment?" And they were like, "Sure, what are we doing?" And so we took 4 of them and put them in 4 different mason jars. And we filled up the water to each one at different levels to see where the roots would grow. And we actually regrew them as a science project in the kitchen for, I don't know, weeks. And then I actually tried to put them back in the ground after I had regrown a bunch of growth. We stuck them in the ground again and they started doing great. And all of a sudden it froze and I forgot to bring the containers into the house and then they died. But it was really cool to see that process and the kids enjoyed it. So it wasn't that big of a loss, but.
Daz said wrapping the stalks is called blanching. It stops the light, making the stalks bitter.
I'm glad I was right.
So wrapping them makes it bitter?
No.
No, wrapping it, I think, reduces the bitter.
Got it. Okay.
Hey, Uncle Al. Hope you're doing well, Die Bullfrog.
And he also says,
water.
Yeah, you have to water them every day.
Every day. I have them in the greenhouse, one that I'm regrowing from the store. And it gets watered every single day.
See, I wonder if it's too early to put it in the ground here for me now, celery now. Because I mean, our first frost date is November, and I feel like I can't remember when I put it in the ground last year, if I took good enough notes or not. I wonder.
Celery won't survive a 3 or 4 zone area. It doesn't survive here at 5B either. I have it in the greenhouse and I've grown it indoors. Well, that's the only way that I've had it. I haven't grown it from seed. I just regrew it from the store.
Oh, ours gets the 1-inch root. We put it in the dirt and it dies.
Aw.
Sounds like something I would do. Yeah.
I'm just looking at the chat to make sure I'm not. I got it. Yeah, and Danny was saying that Broke Cowgirl, I put her method on there earlier, the comment. I don't know if you saw it, Monica. And then
No.
okay.
Sorry.
Broke Cowgirl was saying what she does. She said it wouldn't work here for me.
But it'll probably work for me.
Which I'm used to. So it's okay.
I'll scroll back up and look.
Okay. And then Danny has a video on the board method. So I'll have to go back. Yeah. And celery is 120 to 140 days. If I grow it, I started indoors in the winter. So what's the growing days for quinoa? Does anybody know?
I'm sure it's a long time.
Does anyone care? Does anyone care about
Be nice?
I'm in the quinoa challenge, so you have to care.
Oh yeah. Can I pretend to care for you?
Yeah, you can pretend to care. Hang
I
on.
was
Here's
looking
me
up
pretending to
celery
care.
on Gurney's, and they have a celery that's 85 days.
Oh,
Okay.
still too long for me.
So
I
now
try.
now I have to do the math and count back to do things. I hate doing math.
Quinoa is 100 to 120 days. That's
Quinoa.
right, Danny.
Quinoa, 360 days.
Guess what? I have quinoa growing
Good
in
for
my
you.
Good
greenhouse.
job.
Still-
It was a challenge, Leanne.
I know. I watched the video.
That's pretty
And
good.
Drops
though.
is insisting on lovage instead of celery.
Yeah, I know. I think that actually sounds good. I might try lovage.
I don't
I
even know
might
what it is.
Try to try lovage. I've just heard it's really good to try for
It's
other
loving.
things. Lovage.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I have quinoa. Now what do I have to do with it? Because I didn't think I'd get any. I don't know.
Put it in food.
It's a grain.
Put
Put
it in
it-
salad, soups.
Put it in oatmeal. Make oatmeal with quinoa.
I think cooking with it is not the problem. It's what I have to do with it before I cook with it.
Oh.
You have to thresh it on the threshing floor, and you're like smacking it on things. That's right, isn't it, Leanne?
You don't know what NPK is, but you know about that.
I read the Bible, okay? You thresh things. I'm serious. You have to like thrash it, whatever. You have to like, it's like separating the wheat from the chaff and the chaff from the thing. It's a thing. And it's
When
violent.
you coming up?
I don't think she wants to get the chaff off the grain.
Okay, I'm just saying words that make sense in my head. Okay, go with it for a second.
Well, I'm excited because
To be violent with
looks good.
quinoa, to like
Yes.
smack it against the ground.
I used to have a Bunky, cover your ears for a minute. A damn it doll.
You have a what? Don't say it again.
It was a stuffed doll. And you
Oh,
had a
yeah.
bad day. No worries, Daz. Don't you worry about a thing. Do what you got to do. Have a great day.
I think that's what Eric tries to do with Daddy Beans when he has a bad day. He goes in there and smacks him up against the wall.
Oh.
Should we? No, I don't want to do that to you. I was going to say, we found Daddy Beans' uncle. Lisa Cologne found it.
Monsieur Beans.
Monsieur Beans. Anyway,
Monsieur. Anyway.
Kettle Kitchen said I loved some butt rub.
Speaking of which, I won last night.
What'd you win?
Yes, I did. They had their first live stream last night giveaway, and
Yeah.
I won the butt rum.
Leanne won the butt rub.
You could have won some quinoa at my house. I can't believe you haven't had potato leek soup, Leanne.
Nope.
Gosh.
I can't believe it either. I'm very disappointed in Leanne.
I've had cream of Swiss chard soup.
That does not sound good.
Do you know how green it was? How dark green it was? Oh my!
After changing as many diapers as I have, I don't think I could have even eaten it.
Vile.
I think I've made it once. I made it like you would cream of spinach soup, and I was just
Bye,
like,
Daz.
ugh. I ate it. My husband
Well,
was
you
like,
have to
what's
be-
wrong?
And you said, this is terrible.
It was just so
Hello,
green.
Sanchez.
I don't even know. Have thing.
Is it this color? Hang on. Oh, yeah, this is perfect.
It was a dark green.
Was it that color?
Oh,
You're frozen. Yeah.
oh, no, I can't eat stuff like that.
I think
Not-
it was darker than that. It was like the green on Darknet's icon there.
Oh my gosh. Oh, thanks, Uncle Al. Hope you're doing well. Oh my gosh.
Ugh. Like
No.
I don't even
Go
think
ahead,
that-
Daz. Go do what you got to do, Daz. Don't worry about it. Everybody, Daz has got to go. Let him go. He says hello. He loves you all. Because I know him. He doesn't want to be rude to anybody, and I know you're not being rude, but I know you got to go take care of something.
We'll just do a shameless plug for Daz. September 19th, folks, be watching for his September video. Speaking of green soups, he's going to be making green pea. I love you, Daz. Green pea soup with maple bacon, which I can't wait for.
Okay, bacon
that
makes
sounds
everything
good.
taste. Yeah.
Yeah, maple bacon. But yeah, he's making a green soup. Thanks,
Nancy. She said you make me think of Anastasia's face she would do. So, ew,
Yeah.
a color that reminds me of lambs and calves in need of worming.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Oh.
Tony said, Lisa and Leanne, I love the IG convo yesterday during our live.
Oh, remember?
Yeah, that was just, yeah.
Yeah, we can't talk about that here.
Terrible. I was pulling Tony's leg. Let's just say that. So what is one thing you love to grow every year you would always have in your garden, no matter what, because it is the easiest thing to grow? You literally scatter the seeds like Monica, like a seed scattering queen, because she doesn't like to follow garden rules. So what is the one thing you would grow in your garden every year without fail? Whoever.
Onions.
Onions for Leanne, potatoes for Where to Begin
Oh,
Homestead.
Yeah, tomato. You know Danny was going to pick tomatoes.
Well, pumpkin.
I would say tomatoes for me too. I mean, I'm not always really successful with them, but I like them so much. It's always worth my time trying.
Yep.
You know, I feel like that's something that I have to at least try. Ooh, Chinese long noodles. They're definitely going to go in my garden next year. I am going to try them because I had some from Casey's and he pickled them and they were so good. I was really surprised. I was very hesitant. He was like, "Oh, I've got some pickled peppers inside, pickled green beans inside of the long beans or whatever." I'm like, "Ugh, no, you got some long beans." He's like, "Yeah, you have to go inside and try them." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, maybe make a video on that." And he's like, "Definitely." I'm like, well, "What did I just get myself into?" And when I tried them, if you actually watch me trying them on my short, I'm like,
I saw you.
I saw.
and then I look at them and I'm like, they're actually good. I was so worried. I'm like, if these are awful, you're gonna tell me. You're gonna see it all in my face. Everyone's gonna know. And they were actually really good. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to grow these now because that's a bean I could pickle. I'm excited. But I think I would do tomatoes. Probably tomatoes.
That's cool. That's cool. Charlie at Fallen Arkansas Veteran said tomatoes and okra. Dark Lord Minette said pumpkin. Tomatoes for Danny. Yeah, no worries. Drop, sorry. Grayson Fire said Chinese long noodles. My green beans, guess what? They just flowered.
Oh,
1 flower.
Maybe you'll get 1 bean.
Yeah. What a waste. So mad.
Well, no,
Cucumbers.
you can let that 1 bean dry out and then save it, and now you've got like 5 plants next year.
That won't grow?
Maybe they'll grow faster next year. You don't know.
I'm going to give it a shot. Because I really was excited. Kristen from Lazy Sea Homestead gave those to me. And I was so excited. I bought new soil. I fertilized it. I bought compost. It's in the healthiest soil of all. And it's a...
Did you do bush or pole beans?
They were red noodle beans. That's all I know.
I think the bush beans that I grow much faster than the pole beans, but I don't know. I think that's why Danny's asking.
Okay, I think they were pole beans because I don't know. I got them on poles. I am not into all the varieties, so I don't know. What was that?
Yeah, I was kind of reading it. Drop said green beans are self-pollinating. Grab the bush and shake it.
Huh. I will do that. Because I'm about to rip it out, so I figured I'll shake it first.
See, there you go. Danny said, for you, stay away from pole beans. Pole beans take forever. Bush beans grow super fast.
Yeah, 45 days.
Yeah, and see, we usually grow bush beans here because it takes up less space for me. Like they grow in rows. I can make a space in between them. And yes, it will be Daddy Beans baby. See, next year's beans will be from the Daddy Beans this year.
That's from Lisa Colovi. She's too much.
You can't go wrong with Daddy Beans, Lisa. Both Lisas. You can't go wrong with Daddy Beans. Just saying.
Yeah, and Jesse says lazy seeds. That explains it. I definitely will. I'll try that, Janice. Hey, Rich of the Old Swedes. Welcome in. I was just so bummed because I was so excited. I saw Kristen had them. Noodle beans are heat lovers. Pole beans take forever. I know I'm really behind. Let's see.
Yeah,
it's tricky.
Yeah, Gwen's saying about the heat down here. We grow beans. I grow beans in the spring, and they've done really well before. This year, I got lazy with my beans this year.
You got lazy with your beans?
I did. Eric didn't know about it until I said something on my live last night, and I said how I grew them this year, and I got like a few harvests, and then I just didn't feel like picking with them anymore. And I didn't want to ask Eric for help because he was so busy with job change and things that were happening in his new job, because he just got a new job in May. And so by June, I was getting a harvest, and I wasn't going to be like, hey, you just work like 10.5-hour days, drove 2 hours, 1 hour each way to work. You want to come outside and harvest a bunch of beans for me and break your back? I wasn't doing it. So I just was like, nah, I'm just going to let them just do their thing. And then they started to burn up, and I was like, it's fine. And so I said something last night on my live, and he was like, what? You just let them go to waste? And I was like, no, I just ate what we wanted this year, and I didn't worry about putting up a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I just wanted to go back real quick. Craig Tim says his bush beans are doing well. If Craig Tim can grow it, I can grow it. He's in the same zone as me.
There you go.
Let's see. Yeah, so I'm gonna try that. I'm kind of bummed because I like those, like the noodle beans Casey had and everything. I would love to grow something like that, but and here's the thing, like we grew cucumbers in the same city, Craig. Yes, I didn't want to say that. I was being respectful of you. I could throw a stone at him. No. So the funniest thing is that I put the cucumber as an experiment. I have an outdoor one and I have one in the greenhouse. I'm really thankful that the plant was looking like heck and I pulled it out because I couldn't get in the greenhouse anymore between that and the tomatoes. But I probably got about 20 something cucumbers.
That's awesome.
From being in the greenhouse. So that's a big difference. My greenhouse plant was this big all year long. I got a very weird, almost round cucumber from it. Tasted really good.
The
A
bulbous.
bulbous one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the cucumber plant is taking off outside. So I'm glad that I had it in the greenhouse. Yeah, I'm not. Don't worry, I'm not going to get noodle beans, Grace and Fire. But thank you for saying that because someone sent me the beans, so that's why I wanted to try them. But
See, it's always worth trying new things. And like you said, I mean, the good thing is you're not like, ending your career at gardening because you didn't get a couple noodle beans, I mean, I think that's part of it too, is you have to have the right mindset when you try new things. And even when you're trying what people say works for your area, just like, Leanne loves growing onions and she's like, I'll definitely grow onions. Well, people down here are like, oh, onions are so easy. And I have had not as many successes with onions, but it's one of those things that it's not going to devastate me if I don't, grow onions successfully every year. I'm going to keep trying. And I think it's really about your mindset too. Try to grow things you like to eat, try to grow things that are able to grow in your zone. And, if you have a good mindset, it's going to be fine.
And Craig Tim was saying that the cucumber harvest wasn't good this year for him, but how were those bread and butter pickles? The funniest thing is that, I grew stuff this year and my experiment was to grow the basics right in the greenhouse to see how things did. Oh, he said, perfect. Thank you. And yeah, so we were excited. Now the garden is mine. It backfired on me.
But
aren't you retired?
I know, that's why. I don't like gardening.
But you're doing a really good job at it.
I've been told.
I've seen pictures of your harvest. It's actually gotten in my harvest this summer. You've had more in the past month and a half than I have actually harvested in the entire month of June. Probably June, July, and August.
Yeah, because yours shuts down because of the heat.
Mine, and it normally doesn't. I mean, I usually am able to keep it going. And this year it gave up life. I mean, a lot of it was like, nah, we're good. And just sat back. Now my peppers are pulling out all the stops and they have flowers like you would not believe. I walked out there yesterday and I was like, good job, good job, good job. Walking along. I was talking to everything. People were probably driving by like, that lady is crazy. Cause I was like touching the plants. I'm like, excellent job. Excellent job. I see you. I see you showing off. So I'm going to have peppers like crazy, hopefully, Lord willing, in a few weeks. But yeah, I mean, you've been pulling out a lot of harvest. So good job for you. I mean, really good.
Thank you. And guess what's in the greenhouse now that I'm waiting for?
What?
Quinoa.
Quinoa.
That too. That too. I'm going to come to your houses and thresh it.
I got a combine.
Yeah, she's got all the tools. You can make your own salsa.
We've never been able to have peppers here because my outdoor pepper is this big. The greenhouse one is loaded. I've got 3 plants in there. So we have found, I had a friend of mine call me up on a Saturday. It was back when we did the first set of pigs, and called me up and said, I've got some greenhouse roofing for you. I saw your Instagram account. Come get it. So I go get it. So now we have to figure out what to do with it to build it. But I think we know the location, but we're just, obviously money and time, just trying to get it together, but we're excited. But I'm getting ready to pick a pepper. What does it say?
Did you see Danny's comment? She said, Lisa, just fly me out there and I'll get everything going for you. And I can leave with a piglet, LOL, when I have my property.
You totally can. I don't want you to get it going for me.
She wants it maintained.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm not sitting out there weeding no garden. That's just dumb. No offense. It's just dumb. Why? If I'm not pulling in hordes of food, there's no reason for me to be out there weeding it. And there's no reason to buy weed cloth or nothing like that because it's just not worth my investment. So the greenhouse,
It's a good, yeah.
we will put the boxes. That kind of gardening I can do.
I will say that the weeds have been helpful for the animals here. So when my grass was dying, I was still weeding in certain areas. So I didn't weed in my entire garden. I weeded some of my areas of the garden. I would weed the center aisles and I would leave some of the weeds between. And Eric had showed that in a recent video. Part of that is just laziness. Part of that is just the fact that I'm busy. But the rest of it was that, you know, I am watering still, and I'm not watering in the center aisles, but they're still growing weeds. I'm able to pull those weeds out of the aisle walkways in a couple of the rows. And I was able to have buckets of fresh grass, weeds, all of it together, greenery for my pigs and for my cows. And so I was able to go in there and use that. So, you know, the weeds aren't necessarily, they're staying in the garden. They're actually being useful for the animals too. So, and like, look, Gwen says, I enjoy weeding. It's time spent listening to that. And there are plenty of times where I like to get to the garden. And as Simeon, my 8-year-old says, oh, mom's going to go to her happy place. I'm like, yes, it's my happy place. So, but I like to get out there sometimes and just clear my head because it's been a busy day or I'm overwhelmed or whatever it is. And sometimes pulling weeds, just ripping them out of the ground, it's very cathartic.
Sure. No, absolutely. I think it just, for me, it's just one of those things where I don't feel we're getting the return right now. So there's no point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's all. And I just feel that if I have to pick and choose my battles, because we had a lot of animals this year on the farm and we had a lot of stuff going on.
Yep.
If the weeds are going to grow, it's like dust in your house. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just trying to think of ways as we're getting older, and no, I'm not old as dirt, but what I'm saying is I'm just trying to think of work smarter, not harder, and how we can do things, right? So to me, it's like if you have a greenhouse and you have, you know, the raised beds or you have a tiered bed in there, it's much easier than being down on the ground and doing that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So I'm just, and then again, with efficient use of land, and this is just for us, efficient use of land, we have back behind our chicken coops, we have this open area. Ryan cut a tree down last year or the year before. It was in one of our videos, and it's an area that's dead. It's not used. It's full of thistle. So we have to weed whack it down before that blooms, and then the chickens go over there. So I can't spray any kind of poison on it because I really want to kill the thistle before it spreads. So we're thinking of just putting, you know, a thick layer of like a weed cloth, for lack of a better term, and then putting gravel, a layer of gravel on it, and building a greenhouse back there. Take care, Where to Begin Homestead. Yeah. Thanks for being here. But I mean, that just, you know, seemed to make sense. But I see Carla was talking about a cover crop. I was thinking about putting a cover crop too, but I don't know that it's going to grow. Would it? In the frost?
Can it hurt to try?
No, I know that.
But what cover crop? Yeah, there you go. What the question is, what cover crop would you grow?
No clue.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that too. So what cover crop do you grow, Carla? What are you growing cover crop wise? I'm interested because, you know, that's something that I've thought about too. I mean, I was taking the old leftover hay that was on the ground after Eric was moving bales, and I was using that to line the insides of some of the rows. I tried a couple different things in my garden this year. And so one section, I actually took all the old hay and used it to line the walkways and around the bed, around the areas of the peppers. And so I'm trying different things in different areas, since I have a row of tomatoes and then 2 rows of peppers and then another row of tomatoes and 2 rows of peppers. And so what I did was I tried different experiments in each section. So I'm interested to see what works.
Shut the front door. Gwen, are you telling me tarping it is going to kill the thistle? I thought that thistle root, there's nothing you can do to get rid of that stuff.
Yeah, I'd be interested too.
Are you telling me if I go out and put a tarp on it right now? I mean, not right now, but tomorrow, Excuse me.
Gotta go.
Really, it's that bad. I want to do it because it's gotten bad.
Yeah, we have the thistle too. It's bad.
And I don't want it to get worse. So get the tarp and choke it out. I have a tarp that is big enough to go out there, and I'll let it sit there for weeks. Okay, thank you. You solved that problem. Let me see here. I did a clover mix, but that won't work up north. But that would work for Monica. And then I'm doing Austrian field peas, daikon radish.
I bet you winter rye would work for you.
Well, here's the thing. The reason why I was saying that is today I raked by hand 2 out of 3 of the pastures. We didn't get the landscape rake out. But I did it by hand because I was telling you, Monica, how we fertilize with 10-10-10, the one pasture where the boys were. It is beautiful.
Oh, wow.
It is beautiful. So I went by hand with each one of them and 2 of them, and I raked it so hard, which, you got to get the waste out and everything because we have small land. But it got all the garbage out of there, and it looks like I vacuumed those pastures. That's how beautiful it looked.
Wow.
So I got that all done. And one of the things we talked about is where Eleanor was where the meat pigs were. And I need to get a cover crop in there. Is this thistle a health herb?
I think
no, it's a globe thistle. Isn't that what it is? Globe thistle, the purple stuff. Weed whip the thistle and remove the seed heads and stems. Yeah, there's no seed. There's no seed heads right now because Ryan weed whacked it already, so they're probably laying in there. Canadian thistle. Yeah, I will do that. Health herb. I don't know. I thought it was just invasive nightmare.
Yeah, what I've got growing in my garden is invasive weed that's not anything worth my time. It's prickly.
Well, thistle is the stuff that ruins pastures.
Yeah.
Because it'll choke everything out, right? That's what a lot of farmers have trouble with, right, Leanne?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wanted to use it as a wedding flower, and my husband was ready to choke me.
Oh my gosh.
Because the purple flower is so pretty. And I had a 2-tone purple and white wedding. Those were my colors.
Buckwheat. Aw. Hey, Joy, bless life.
I'm looking to see.
I'm writing this down. So buckwheat. I wonder if my pigs can eat it because I want to be able to throw seed in the pastures when the pigs are not in it. Also in my garden, obviously, but
I'm taking screenshots of it on my phone. What they're writing.
I think you are. I know it. I will. Yeah, I will choke it out. Awesome. Thank you. So let's see. Winter rye. Excuse me, everybody, while I write this down.
I know, right?
Winter wheat.
Leanne, do you plant?
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, we took our engagement pictures in winter rye in April. Yeah, rye works as great as a cover crop. It'd be great for your pigs and chickens and all that.
Awesome. Does it need a lot of water?
No, we don't water it. Nope.
Okay, I know I probably sound dumb, but I'm asking for that reason because I have no water out to that pasture for that to water something.
There is no dumb question.
Yeah, no. Not when it comes to gardening and all that, as far as I'm concerned. Because I think I asked a lot of questions.
Good night, Tiny Tim Posey. Thank you.
Because, we plant rye in our fields and we don't water our fields.
Yeah, we don't either. And we've done winter seed. Last year, we actually tilled up our entire pasture because we had such an overgrowth of weeds and everything else. We just tilled everything up. And then we actually put a winter rye mix, I believe, on the entire pasture where it was grazable. And we noticed less weeds this year. We still got some weeds this year because we didn't throw a lot of fertilizer down. We didn't really want to add anything unnatural to it. So we tried some natural fertilizer, some regular stuff, but we just let that cover crop go. We just let that winter rye go on the ground, and we got really good grass beginning of this year. It looked really good.
So Carla, you're saying no need to water the cover crops. You just want to till it in before it goes to seed. I won't. Okay.
That's cool.
If I'm putting it in a pasture, I'm not tilling it in.
Well, I think that they mean like scrape the surface. So like if you scrape the surface, sometimes you can, it helps the seeds get where they need to get. But I mean, you could probably just throw it out there, right?
I mean, if there's a, go ahead.
I don't think Ryan, your neck of the woods, is going to go to seed that soon before you plant your harvest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it doesn't go to seed here till like July, like when we cut it for silage. So it would have to be, you'd be planting your garden way before then.
Yeah.
Okay. She was referring to how she uses it in the garden. Yeah. The reason why I'm asking is we have the 3 pastures and then we have the net fencing, right? So the problem becomes in the summer or in the warmer weather is we're dry usually, right? So what our goal, we're trying to rotate, but the problem is the pastures are not growing quick enough. So we were able to get 2 storms and we got about, I think it was like 1/4 of an inch of rain. And then another one, we got like almost 3/4 of an inch of rain, which is great, right? We went out and threw fertilizer before that second one because we knew that it would do something. But now that pasture has to stay empty for 4 weeks because it's not safe for the animals. And yes, I know I need to get Kelzyme because then it would be safe. But we're laughing because we had this conversation on our podcast. So
Yeah. Just like 2 nights ago.
yeah. But the cool part about the fertilizer is that pasture has now grown up. The front lawn has grown up that we've used for the pigs. So that's why I was trying to think of what cover crops could I throw in there, because we had our meat pigs in that one where Eleanor and Fiona were. They destroyed it. And I can't, plant grass, so to speak, because the birds will eat it, it'll be gone, So that's why I was asking. Let's see here. 4 inches of rain in less than an hour. Holy cow, Gwen.
Yeah. It's been really bad here with the rain. I had to go pick up my son from work yesterday and it had been raining off and on all day, but when it was coming down a lot. And it was flooding the roads because all the different culverts couldn't handle the massive amount of rain after being so dry for so long. The culverts are so dry. It's like nothing is sinking in. Everything's just surface. And the pastures are overflowing into the culverts and the culverts are just overflowing into the roads. So I had to drive really slow. He was texting me. He's like, "Hey mom, it's time to come get me." I'm like, "You need to chill the heck out. I'm on my way, dude." Because I was driving like really slow because there was a lot of water on the road. Yeah.
Yeah. Be careful because the soil gets compacted. That's what we deal with every year. It's crazy. Dark Lord Minette said, "Once you thresh the rye and the quinoa, the long."
I was happy for it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Danny, no problem. Send me any chicken questions you want.
We're supposed to get hay delivered tomorrow and Sunday. And I'm looking at the standing water like, oh my gosh, Eric's going to get stuck in the ground trying to move the hay onto our property. How is he going to do that? So I think they're actually going to deliver on Monday if they can. And then next Sunday. We hate to move hay on Sundays, but you got to do what you got to do sometimes, especially for animals.
Oh yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, the thistle I have is different. Joy Blessed. Mine is like an invasive one that will eventually just grow and take everything over, and the grass will disappear, and my pigs won't have anything to eat.
Yeah.
Look at the kitty back there.
Excuse me, sorry.
Just want to get caught up in the chat. Yeah, hydroplaning is not fun.
No.
Yeah, it's good to get the rain, but yeah, it causes a lot of problems, especially when you haven't had it for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, my thistle is like mint, totally invasive. But if you've listened to our podcast, or maybe you haven't heard this episode yet, you know that I don't care about mint. Be careful, Tony. So any last thoughts about growing basics or I mean for me, you know, it's like if you're a new gardener and you're working on stuff, just go out there and do stuff and just really just worry about what it is you're going to eat, what it is that is easy to grow, and don't worry about all the varieties. To me, the varieties come later. Like figure out what you can grow first. Figure out what works. Get that whole process down pat first, because maybe you have a balcony, right? And you have 5-gallon pails that you've put holes in the bottom, and you're going to do a container garden. Just make sure that you are, you know, you're just growing the normal stuff, and then worry about the other stuff later. I know that a lot of people are growing these awesome melons. I think Gwen is growing them because she had a critter eating them. They look so cool, but it's like I could never get them to grow here. But, you know, she's been growing for years.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's cool. Thank you, Leanne.
Well, I think that sometimes too, we have to remember as gardeners, new or seasoned, I think we have to remember not to compare ourselves to everyone else that we see out there. If I compared myself and what I'm doing in my garden to what Leanne's pulling in her garden, I would constantly be upset with myself, especially knowing, oh my gosh, she's growing this amount of whatever. I mean, there's no way I can grow that and that quantity because of the amount of land she's growing on versus what I've got. And the same thing goes for you, Lisa. Obviously, you're growing things and you're growing in a different scale because you're growing in a greenhouse. Your climate is different. Your zone is different. And I think that's one of the things that people do a lot of times that really, you know, kind of, it's hard because it can really kill your joy when you are comparing yourself to others, comparing what other people have done. And even though I'm sitting here going, okay, cool, Carla and Gwen are kind of in my area and, you know, they're doing this, I could try to do it. I still can't compare myself to whether I'm successful at something, even if they're in the same zone, in the same climate generally, because they're experienced in so many different things. And so it's one of those things that I just need to remember not to compare myself and remember that I am as a gardener, as someone I'm caring for my family and myself, and I'm going to plant what we eat. I'm going to plant what I want to put on my shelves and what I want to have for the future for my family. And I think that
absolutely,
you know, basics, staying basic, keeping it like what's on your grocery list, you know, how are you going to eat? What are you going to eat? And if you're growing things to put in your body and share with people maybe, or whatever it is, then that's your, you know, that should be what's in the front of your mind too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think back, it's funny. One of the things on Instagram is I've gone out of my way to connect with some folks out this way because there's not a lot of YouTubers, right? So I've gone out of my way to connect with folks that are in, you know, Nevada. I'm sorry, not Nevada. Yeah, well, Nevada, Nebraska, North Dakota, and stuff like that. And, you know, it's funny because 20 minutes in any direction, you're in the plains. It's hot. It's 10, 12 degrees hotter than my house, you know? And so Nevada. So yeah, I mean, it's just, you can't compare yourself to others, you know? For me, I think the biggest thing is just that every state that we've lived in it's been fertile and lush. Like you just threw it in the ground, it grew, and this isn't. So I've got Loofah. We played a garden game on my Instagram the other day. Was will it make it before frost?
It was really cute.
I've got a loofah. The loofah is this big, and I'm so excited because I didn't think we'd even get to that point. And the loofah is that big, and I'm like, will it make it in 2 weeks? When we have frost, and they're like, nope.
But can you still dry it out that small? I mean, can you still use it and dry it out that small?
I don't think so. I mean, we're talking it's thinner than my pinky.
But it would be handheld. You could use it for your face.
It could be a Q-tip.
Her eye makeup.
Ouch.
Oh yeah, I wear tons of it. But the other thing is like, you know, the beans they grew, and that loofah toothbrush.
True.
Exactly.
Or you can eat it. Just eat it, you know, green.
Yeah. And Drop said blowing snow across the highway in winter. Yeah, no kidding. But that's the thing, you know, I grow what we can grow, you know what I mean? So Grace and Fire said I could eat it. No, I don't
Yeah.
want it.
It's tiny. I mean, you can eat it like a,
Snack,
zucchini or whatever. Yeah.
like a gherkin.
No, I think people eat them, so you could cook it up.
I don't know about that. Oh, look at the little kitty. But yeah, I mean, it's just fun. So, but we're winding down here. I mean, actually, we're getting to the point where we're getting all our harvest finally. So
Yeah.
is that 2 of them there or just 1? They taste kind of like zucchini. How about you, Leanne? Any last words?
Just do it.
Yeah.
Just gardening is a life skill, and skill comes from practice and knowledge and practice. Right?
Let Diesel eat it.
And what's the worst thing that's going to happen? You learn something.
Yeah.
True. You want to know what's really cool? I got to show you this picture. I don't know if you saw it, Monica. And I got to make sure you see it because people on YouTube didn't see it. Oh, I hope I get it. Look what's in my garden right now. I got new strawberry plants.
Ooh. Oh,
And
that's awesome.
yeah, I have my old strawberry bed has, they're all everbearing. So they're usually smaller and less of a harvest. Well, I have one that I got from like Dollar Tree that I planted from seed. And they're almost like, the strawberries are like that size. So I just pick them off and give them to the chickens because they're just so tiny. It's a nice treat for them. So anyway, I do 2, 1 for me, 1 for the chickens,
Okay, yeah.
But anyway, these are everbearing and look at how big they are.
They say they look pretty good.
I know. So I'm impressed. So I'm going to be out there like, woohoo, eating my 1 berry.
That's awesome though. I've never been able to successfully grow strawberries ever. Never. So
heavy feeder, heavy drinker.
That's
what I found. I water them every day and I've fertilized the crap out of them with Kelzyme. Yes, I did. They're not paying me to say that, by the way. So seriously.
Yeah.
I'm going to go dip myself in Kelzyme.
That's one thing. I don't need any help growing. I can grow very easily. I'm just so I don't need help growing during the fall season. No, but I will say I think my kids would love if I could grow strawberries because I mean, strawberries are probably one of their favorites. They love strawberries, but yeah, I have not. I put a strawberry plant in a planter or a ground, and it just.
Me too, Carla. Me too. We're good.
Heavy feeder, heavy drinker.
Well, I read a thing that said, especially in the spring, because mine are under straw all winter, so that I have them the next year. And so when I uncover them, I give them a dose of fertilizer because I was told that they need a lot of nitrogen as they're waking up and getting ready to produce fruit. So I did that. And then I also gave them water every day. And we have had a ton of strawberries, not a lot at once.
Yeah.
But it's been nonstop since they started. So that was cool. Be a strawberry. Ooh, somebody said strawberries are self-pollinating. You can grow them indoors.
Drops said that. I'm going to have to try that. That would be interesting.
So Drops, tell me this. If I rip up that plant that is taking up valuable outdoor raised bed space that has the tiny little strawberries on it, and I bring that inside, that should survive.
Inquiring
Does it need a lot of light, like grow lights?
Yeah, I need to know this.
Because what I'm thinking is I want to get that tiny one out of there, but I don't want to throw out something that's working. You get what I'm saying? And so I'll bring that in and put it out in front of a window or something. That would be cool.
Wait, we have to grow one male and one female, but how do I know it's a male or a female plant?
Wait. Yeah.
Okay, he said he does that every year for fresh fruit. He brings them in.
So can somebody answer about the male and the female? Because I don't know what I got.
I don't know.
Yeah,
What
I need
But-
to know.
if I was going to do strawberries again, well, if I was going to have to buy new plants, I want to do how Mennonite Mom has her set up. She has them in PC pipes, and you just
Yeah.
have to water at the top. It's like a green stock, but not really. It's like a cheap
Yep.
version, and it'll just trickle down through the pipes.
That is
It's-
so smart. I've seen that.
That's cool.
But she didn't know you didn't rip off the flowers the second year of the strawberries.
What did you say you have to do?
The first year you're supposed to take the blossoms off so they grow their daughters
Oh,
or the runners.
Yep.
So she didn't know you didn't do that the second year, so they produce fruit.
Oh no.
I didn't know that either. I mean, I've never successfully grown anything really. It starts and then it just goes and dies. So I've never gotten to that point. But wait, self-pollinating means male and female plant if ever bearing. So that means
So
that
are
they
you
are
saying-
male and female.
So you're saying that the plant. Okay, so you're saying that everbearing has male and female in one plant.
Okay, that makes
That's a
sense.
nice mug, Leanne.
Oh wait,
Ooh, I like it.
Here, hang on a minute.
it's one of a kind.
Make her big.
I'm trying. Uh-oh. There she is.
Ooh, that's pretty. I like it.
Very
I have
pretty.
to do version 2.0 because I don't like this part right here. Like the good day
Yeah.
does not stand out.
The great.
But everything
the-
else-
That's cute.
Yeah. And it has my saying on it. God gave you a great day. Now go do something great.
Oh, I like that.
So
Okay, so most strawberries are everbearing. They come as male and female. Those that aren't males produce flowers but don't produce fruit. Gotcha.
And
Okay, gotcha.
still with everbearing, you have to. So the first year, you have to pull off all the little flowers, and then the next year it'll grow fruit. Is that what I'm understanding?
mhm.
Yeah,
Got it.
I didn't do that with mine, but it worked.
And I'll have to
But-
figure out which plants I got from my gardener that are prolific. The strawberry plants. Because if one plant filled up my whole tractor tire.
Ooh, will you tell
Yeah.
me, because that's usually where I
Oh.
get a lot of mine are for MI Gardener.
I'll have to look it up what my order was.
Will you take a picture or send me the name of it? Because that's like my jam. I'm always ordering MI Gardener. Pinch the runners.
can-
Okay.
I can tell you. I can tell you which ones I got. I got mine from a local nursery, and I probably got them in June. No, May. I'm just in awe. May and June. That's right. I bought one, and then I bought a whole bunch more, and they were just incredible. Incredible.
Got it.
Yeah. Yes, Dribless, like there is male and female plants, or flowers and all that kind of stuff. It goes over my head, but I know that like I guess all your squash will come out with a male flower first, and then it will come out with the female flower. Was what I
Yeah, you can tell on the squashes and stuff. You can tell. You can see the difference between the flowers, the male and the female flowers. They look different when you look at them.
wow.
But
You've
I
been-
didn't know
you've
about strawberries.
Oh, there's a kitty.
Hi, kitty.
You've been looking into flower anatomy, haven't you, Monica?
I homeschool, so I know some things.
Well done. Well done.
Are you trying to
Well,
get?
guys. Oh, sorry.
I was just saying how he was just trying to get attention.
He loves his mama.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look up everbearing strawberries. I've got so many notes on my table right here. It's ridiculous.
Why is that my
I think
gardener saying I don't have an account?
Well, I
Of all
think it's
my
awesome.
Post-it notes I've been making from all the information tonight.
Maybe
Well,
you
and-
should just watch the replay.
That's true. I could. Good one.
So any lad, we've gone longer than I planned, and I apologize because I know my guests, their time is precious, as well as our guests in the chat. But any last words, any last thoughts on growing the basics?
No, I agree with
'Cause I
Leanne.
gotta
Just do it.
I got to go get my butt to the farmer's market tomorrow because we found out that there's sweet corn going to be there tomorrow.
Ooh, nice.
We'll be freezing some corn.
Our sweet corn was cross pollinating with our glass gem corn.
What'd you end up with?
Our
Sweet gem.
sweet corn looks like gems through it. I'll send you a picture tomorrow. It's pretty cool. I'm like, is this edible? He's like, yeah, it is.
That's cool. Yeah, we got to
You
load
should-
up a couple girls first thing in the morning. Eric's got it. We've got an early day because we have to go get some girls preg checked. So we shall see.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tony, let me know about the 13th. I'm down for it. As long as I'm home, I'm down for it. I'll check my my schedule.
Oh, I'm not available the 13th.
You could be on I'm going to be on his game night on the 13th. I was one of the panelists this past week and he invited me back on the 13th to be a contestant. So that would be fun.
I'll double check, but I can be there the 13th, I think. Danny, I hope you get another chicken. You gonna go pick up that other girl? I have a bigger problem with piglet math.
Danny's getting more chickens.
She said she might.
I thought she said she could only have 3.
3,
She can have
30,
more.
same thing.
She's being conservative. Did you see what Gwen said, Leanne, about the sweet corn? Or I don't know, she was talking to me. To hurry up and get it. I plan to shuck it and freeze it in the same day. It'll be tomorrow, right after we get it.
And you should blanch it first because the enzymes won't stop running.
Yep, definitely.
Is Monica frozen?
Yeah.
Was I frozen in a stupid position?
You're still.
Yes, you were. Hey, Hugo Homestead.
No, you look great.
Yeah.
I'm looking at down at the screen trying to see if I'm frozen, and I'm not frozen on my.
She's not frozen on YouTube, but she's frozen on Melon.
Am I doing something stupid?
No. Hugo Homestead, I have seen those gardening sleeves. I've never tried them. Have you seen those gardening sleeves on Instagram? Has either one of you used them? I haven't.
My sister bought me some sleeves, and I haven't used them yet.
Maybe it's during the winter.
Yeah, I was out in shorts raking pastures.
Since I don't sew sleeves on my dresses.
No, these the sleeves that they're talking about on the ad, they're like real thin, and so they'll keep you from getting scratched or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't really deal with a lot of the scratches out there. I deal with more of the bug attacks, and the mosquitoes here in Texas will actually bite me through my jeans. So a thin sleeve on my arm won't do anything.
Yeah, I've seen them and people use them all the time, and they're cool looking. I don't think that it would. The only time I need it is when I'm in by the raspberries. But even then, I send Ryan to pick them. Just joking.
Yeah.
They look really cool, though. They look really cool. Vampires in Texas, not mosquitoes.
Yeah, it's true. That's what they're called. They're not actual mosquitoes. They're vampires. They're disgusting. They're like actual people size.
Blue Self-Reliance. Hey, Blue. She said I have a friend who uses them when he's harvesting beans because he gets contact dermatitis.
That makes sense. I would
Yeah.
I'm probably going to use mine when we're dealing with hay. If when I'm moving hay around, and if I'm dealing with that out there with Eric, if I'm pulling hay for nesting boxes or things like that, I'll probably throw them on, because that's when I usually get itchy and I get hay on my arms and it makes me a little itchy.
So Charlie, I was talking earlier about it. The babies are all doing really well. Another few weeks, and Eleanor's will be going to their new homes. And then I have Fiona's, and Fiona's. I was telling everybody earlier that we did lose another one of Fiona's last Saturday to a complication. So we've got 7. No, wait a minute. We have 6, and 5 are sold. 1 is staying with us. But all right, guys. Well, thank you to my special guest for being on the panel. I appreciate your patience and for being here longer. No worries, Charlie. Thank you so much. And yes, CB, let me know your review on them. I'd love to know. But everybody, thanks for being here tonight. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. We had some great guests on tonight.
Thank you for having me.
And you're welcome. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend. And everybody will be busy, right? Soon the winter, well, the cooler weather will be here, and it'll be winding down, hopefully, for a lot of us, because it's still busy time, right? Between canning season, harvesting, and all that jazz, right?
Yep.
Good time for soup.
Good time for soup. Good time for soup. All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for being here. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.